I'm Becky and I'm a project manager on the railway, and I'm here this weekend to learn about the volunteering opportunities on the Bluebell Railway. I'm really looking forward to my day-to-day on the Bluebell Railway. I'm going to be meeting people in the yard and engineering workshops, as well as climbing aboard the Golden Arrow coaches to get a closer look and learn more about them. How important would you say volunteers are to the Bluebell Railway?
Quite simple, really simple. If there weren't any volunteers, there wouldn't be a Bluebell Railway. It is as simple as that.
Without volunteers, you couldn't actually financially run it.
You couldn't run it, no.
Do any of your friends volunteer? Are you
Loads of my friends, most of my friends all volunteer up here. They also volunteer at other railways, but we all met here.
Volunteering here, I've been about 23 years now. Started off when I was 11 years old and never left.
If anyone was thinking of volunteering and they're thinking, I need to do some volunteering but I don't know what to do it in, what would you say to them to do if they're thinking of coming here?
It's not just, you don't just volunteer in loco, there's signals, there's station staff, there's customer services, there's working directly with the public, there's museum, I mean...
Infrastructure.
Infrastructure, so, the building of the tracks, maintaining the carriage and wagon workshops,
It's a massive
Of
spectrum
jobs.
I work as a project manager on what people at the Bluebell Railway would call the big railway. In my job, I ensure that the projects I work on run to programme and to budget. The company I work for encourages its staff to get involved in voluntary work, and many more companies are now seeing the benefits. This brings many advantages not only for the organisations that receive the voluntary help, but also the individuals undertaking it, and this is something I shall explore as part of my visit to the Bluebell Railway. I arranged to speak with my boss, Matt Bain, to discuss the benefits of encouraging his employees to undertake voluntary work.
We provide our staff with 5 charity days per year. They can use these to support any charity that they like, as long as it's registered. We see a lot of benefits, not only to the charities that we support, but also to the individual themselves.
My name's Ben. I volunteered here when I was very young. I started in the 9F club from when I was 9 to 16 years old.
Do you work in the workshop exclusively?
No, I do a bit of both, so I'm in the workshop fixing them as well as out here and playing with them as well. I love the history around it. History and the history of the industry of the railways is something which has always interested me.
My name's Harry, I'm 21 and I've been working here for the last 3 years. I help do the overhauls and the maintenance on the steam locomotives. Go from anything from fitting stays to adjusting brakes under supervision and things.
Currently working on Project 27, which is a South Eastern Chatham P-tank. It's also known as Primrose, or its actual number is number 27. We've got another 2 here. We've got Bluebell, which you might have seen, and also 178. Work for the bigger railways, service engineer, and keep the mainline fleet running day to day. This is the original cab for 27, but it looks quite presentable. There's a lot of plate work that needs replacing it. After 100 years and being out in the open, there's a certain amount of repair work that needs to be done to get it back into a serviceable condition. Been working on 27 about 2 years now. We're expecting another 5 years or so, but it all depends on obviously fundraising. We're still raising money towards restoring the engine. Currently we've raised about 35,000, but we're looking in the region of about 150,000 to fully finish the engine.
So I've done a level 2 craft course that was 2 years at college, and now I'm doing a level 3 diploma in engineering. This gives me the practical skills to go and then do the assessed pieces at college, so doing a lot of the machine work and things here allows me to go on the machines at college and complete all the tasks there.
It seems like there's a lot of camaraderie here. Tell me more about that.
Oh yeah, I mean you won't be short of making new friends or chatting to people here. There's just so many people. There's an absolute mass variety of skills for people that come in on the workshop. So you have people which have done engineering as their jobs and they're retired now, but they want to keep occupied still, so they come in and they're really handy because they can work on the lathes and they can get their head around fitting work.
Yeah.
Equally, we have people which come in which have no experience, but that's fine because, you know, they're here to learn, as is everyone. You never stop learning, so, you know, it really doesn't matter what skill set you have, there's always something for you to do.
I've just been born into it, so it's just part of my life, really. You couldn't live without it. It's a lot of it, like coming down the pub is one of the things with your mates and stuff. And also you're working with your mates as well during the day.
It's a good atmosphere there.
Yeah.
You've got like friends there, so it's sort of like a social thing as well.
Yeah, it is,
It is, yeah.
Since I've been down here, I've heard lots about a special train that runs called the Golden Arrow. Its Pullman cars are called Christine and Fingal, and they are kept in a shed here at Sheffield Park, and I couldn't wait to get on board to find out more.
This is one of the carriages on our dining train, the Golden Arrow, which we run most Saturday nights and Sunday lunchtimes. So yeah, this is Fingal, which is one of the Pullman cars. We have two Pullman cars, which is Fingal and Christine. And then we have our first class carriage, which is towards the back of the train, which is from the 1950s, and that one's called Sapphire.
It really is special. Do a lot of people come back afterwards and say that they've had such a good time, because it is something that you're not going to experience all the time, are you, in like this kind of environment?
No, it's very similar, I think, to what a lot of people would think the Orient Express is like, and that they're not perhaps going to be able to experience. So it's really nice to be able to work on a train like this, and you get so many people coming for special occasions, but also people coming time after time. You just get so many repeat customers. Because the Golden Arrow used to travel from Victoria to the coast, and then people would get on a ferry and travel to Calais, and then they would get on, excuse my French pronunciation, La Flèche d'Or, which is the equivalent to the Golden Arrow, but that used to run from Calais to Paris. So people would go from London to Paris on the Golden Arrow, then the ferry, and then on the Flèche d'Or. So it meant that they literally would travel like this from London to Paris. About once a month, the train gets chartered by a theatre company who do a murder mystery. So what they do, they start in the Bessemer Arms. We have a function room upstairs called the Birchgrove Suite, and they set that up like a mini theatre, and they do about a 15-20 minute production where they will act out the murder, and then all the actors come on the train with us. So throughout the evening, the actors will wander up and down to each carriage and spend some time with each little party, and they will get questioned by the passengers on the train to try and find out who the murderer was. When I first started this job, I put down, it sounds really corny, but I put down that I was a dream maker, because this is the kind of stuff that people, you know, they dream about, think, you know, getting married and go, because we do weddings on here as well. So we don't actually do the wedding on board, but we do the reception. But people dream about having a fairy tale wedding reception where they're sort of winding through the Sussex countryside behind a steam engine that's chugging along, and I help deliver that product.
It is like a film set in here. It's like perfect, basically.
Very much.
And like I said, you don't get to see or be in a sort of an environment like that really a lot anymore.
No, well, I do.
So you do,
I
obviously.
do.
I honestly can't believe how extravagant the carriages were, and I felt like they were made for royalty. But let's get back down to earth now and go and meet brothers Matthew and Steve in one of the other sheds to learn how volunteering can help with the day job.
I think it taught me quite a lot of skills that now I use in the industry I'm in.
What industry are you in now?
I'm in the theatre industry.
Okay.
Lighting for musicals and things.
And what do you do for your day job?
I work in wildlife conservation, so yeah, it does teach you some skills that are transferable. So the health and safety side of things, working on a railway, is quite intense, and so that's transferable to wildlife conservation we're out doing.
This place, and I think, you know, is somewhere where there is such a wide range of skills used, is somewhere where you can pick up so many which you probably won't get in other places.
Quite a varied age group that works here, especially in our loco works. We've got some of the old boys that come in during the week, and they do the everything from overhauling the speedometers and things to painting the engine. We've also got quite a group of keen youngsters involved who come in at the weekends when they're not working or at school and college, and they come in and do their bit. So it's very varied in all the people that come here.
It's given me a background in railways, familiarity, which helps me move into my current job.
I work on a railway full time, Laurie works on a railway full time, and it's a good bit of hands-on experience.
It's good on your CV, I suppose.
Yeah, it's like you say, it's a skill set. I mean, it's nice to be recognised from railway bodies to say, all right, yeah, he's involved with Bluebell, hands-on experience.
Yeah.
It's a good bit of mechanical knowledge, understanding of, say, how a steam engine works, or generally how, well,
and safety.
And safety, certainly safety. Because, it's very important.
Yeah, it's very important on our railways.
We're governed by the same standards as the big railways.
Use 3 words to describe volunteering at the Bluebell Railway.
Exhilarating, rewarding, a bit mad.
A few more words there, but I quite like it.
That's all right. Yeah,
Makes it sound really fun.
Yeah, well, no, it is. It's good.
Sometimes it's hard to know what you want to do, though, or what's there available.
There's a broad spectrum of what you want to do. Like you say, you can go from track infrastructure, clearing embankments with all the vegetation, or making coach seats, whatever would work.
Yeah, our upholsterer's got, there's some people in the workshop literally making seats, that people are sitting on. The other thing I find is a lot of people think they've got to have a knowledge of railways and be really an enthusiast to come and work there, and they don't at all.
Yeah, you meet all sorts of people there, really. Everyone does all sorts of different things. It's weird. Yeah.
Yeah, everyone does something different, so it's quite good to be, meet some different people whilst you're down here, find out what they do, and also all the time you're learning from them as well. The whole time you're down here, you're learning at the foot plate. Everyone's got different skills, so it's that good comradeship and also learning off one another.
The more time I spend here, the more I start to feel exactly what it is the volunteers get out of the work they do here. Regardless of whether they are picking up the ashes and barrowing them over to the spoil pile, polishing the locomotive or driving, the one thing that shines through is a sense of friendship and pulling together to make this preservation line work. I'm actually enjoying myself here, and at first I wasn't sure that I would. In the next episode, part 3, I shall be going behind the scenes to meet the volunteers that are just as important but the public don't usually see.